This week's talking point is The Last of Us. It's been confirmed that it's come to PlayStation 4. There was a very brief trailer. Actually, it was quite a long trailer, but it was all quotes saying how good it is, and then a very
IGN quotes, though.
Yeah, a very brief piece of footage. Now, certainly Daniel and I, we've played it all the way through to completion.
Mm-hmm.
Chris, you've not played it, and Seb, I don't think you've played it either.
Haven't.
But for me, it's like when they showed the footage, I was like, it doesn't really look that much better because The Last of Us is a great-looking game in the first place. So, is it actually worth replaying? Would you go back and replay it? Because the story is the story. Not a lot changes, right?
No, it's going to be the same game, but it's like that thing where when a film comes out and you've not seen it for a while and they do a restoration or it's a new print or it's on a Blu-ray and it kind of progresses it that much more into the future and the quality of the experience.
Yeah.
So I remember when I first got my first DVD player.
Yeah.
And I got loads of films. I went and revisited loads of films I've only ever saw as a kid on VHS.
Yeah.
And it was amazing to see Jaws on DVD for the first time, stuff like that. I just feel like this is quite a recent thing, and the technological jump isn't that significant.
No.
It's going remastered in 1080p.
Because I think the jump from VHS to DVD was noticeable.
Yeah.
The jump from DVD to Blu-ray is noticeable on more recent films. But I just watched Guns N' Navarone after hearing Kojima talking about it. And obviously it's a 60s movie.
Mm-hmm.
I assume it's 60s.
Yeah.
But obviously it looks like a 60s movie. And you don't think, oh, that looks better on Blu-ray, because I may as well just watch it probably on VHS.
Stuart in the gallery violently shaking his head.
What does he know
Because
about films?
We can take a transfer
and things
from
like
the
that?
original negative, can't you, Stu? Yeah, and he's pointing a makeshift gun at your head.
Good. He doesn't have a microphone.
How common is it to revisit a game? Because obviously a film is a 2-hour, 90-minute experience, whereas a game can be 2-3 days of spacing your time out.
Well, I think certainly when it's shifting from one console generation to the next console generation, if you've invested, as Naughty Dog has, probably 3-4 years of development time in the original Last of Us, you want to get as much of it out of that as possible. So I have no idea how complex it is to make it, upscale it. But again, the last game looks so good. I think it's probably, if you've not played it before, worth playing. Definitely worth checking.
There's interesting things. There's
I'm not sure.
There's director's commentary on it, which is quite cool, I think, for all the cut sequences to hear Neil Druckmann talk about plot points, give it a little bit more extra detail, flesh out kind of the backstory, how it was made, all that sort of stuff that usually games creators are quite cagey about when the game first comes out. And that stuff's quite interesting.
It is interesting, but I've never, ever, ever watched a director's commentary.
You
not? No, never.
I've watched loads. I used to do that a lot at university. Like all DVD collection I took to university, I rewatched them with commentary.
I remember when DVDs first came out, I watched extras because it was like, well, I'll get my money's worth.
Yeah.
But I don't think I've ever watched an extra.
I've never watched any
soon.
commentaries. I remember Valve always used to do director's commentaries. There used to be like a director's commentary mode on their games where they had question marks around everywhere. And I tried it once or twice, but I was never quite interested enough in it to go around the entirety of the game looking at the commentary.
But the thing is with the commentary, it's kind of like a weird, I don't know, antecedent to a Let's Play.
Yeah.
Of a film. Like, you're finding out more, you're watching it with someone. I know of people, for instance, a big, really popular commentary is the commentary that exists on League of Gentlemen DVDs. Like, people almost see it as kind of an appendix to the actual TV show itself, because it's the 4 guys who wrote the TV show, and they're just as funny in the commentary, like improvising, giving information, but almost sketches emerge in the commentary of them being in character or being funny. So it's almost like another version of the show.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what might make you want to watch a commentary is Arnold Schwarzenegger's Total Recall commentary.
Right.
There's a compilation of his best bits on YouTube,
Yeah.
and it'll make you want to hit the whole thing.
Okay.
There are some good ones. I'd recommend the John Carpenter, Kurt Russell commentaries of their movies.
Yeah.
The Big Trouble in Little China and The Thing.
Yeah.
And they're clearly having a few beers while they're doing it.
Right.
Very entertaining.
Okay.
There are a few of people there's a couple of people who just hate the movie, and there's one guy who spends the entire commentary apologising. I can't for the life of me remember what it is, but he spends I remember reading an article of the 5 worst DVD commentaries, and number 1 was a guy who was so ashamed of his movie he spent the entire commentary apologising.
Wasn't there like a Danny Dyer football one that I've heard?
Yeah,
clips
no,
of?
it was Outlaw. The movie was Outlaw,
Okay.
and I've since met someone who was in the same office as Danny Dyer was doing that, and there were naughty things going on during the commentary, and you can kind of hear it. Really,
yeah. But
he's getting
that
more
sounds
and more
quite
excited.
funny. But
he compares himself to Robert De Niro, Martin Scorsese, him and Nick Love.
Of course, a natural comparison.
But bringing it back round, we had Seth Rogen and Evan Goldberg come in and do commentary over the top of the intro to Last of Us.
Yeah.
Should we get them back in for the PS4?
See if they can tell the
We
difference.
can shoot them with the new camera, so that's in higher res.
Yeah.
So
It's just a thought, put it out there.
The only, it's not really a DVD extra, but this week thing that's doing the rounds is the Jean-Claude Van Damme Predator thing.
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that?
I have.
He looks like he's dressed as a giant prawn, just running around the forest. That I would watch again and again.
It was quite exciting
and
to
again.
see that, though, because I've always known that Jean-Claude Van Damme was originally in the movie.
Right.
And then they changed the actor. So it's fun to actually see that.
Yeah.
And it's fun that he got annoyed. He thought he was going to be the big star.
Yeah, but you would be like running around like that. It's just crazy.
Because that was before he did really anything.
Yeah.
yeah, he's just
Pre-Bloodsport.
he's just
Right.
off the plane.
Anyway, listeners, will you be playing The Last of Us on PlayStation 4? Let us know if you've played it already. The email address is IGN_UKfeedback@IGN.com or Facebook, Twitter /IGN UK.